If there's two things I love, it's scooting my little tuchus down to the watering hole and watching videos on YouTube. In fact, I've watched so many videos on YouTube that a little f***ing tumor formed in my brain that started saying, you know, you could do that shit. And here we are. But I have grade A Wagyu filet mignon beef. I hate content creators. And I actually don't mean my peers here on the website. I'm sure I'd get along with most of them just fine. I, generally try to do that love everybody thing. I saw Vinland Saga. Rather, I hate the term content creator. It's actually been my cringe-ass Kanye West TMZ rant for a while now, but don't call me a content creator. Call me an artist, call me a musician, call me a video essayist, call me a YouTuber, call me a fucking streamer. Just don't call me a content creator. Why? I mean, that's kind of why I made the video. The internet has vastly changed entertainment and the arts, or at least the commercial apparatus within which they operate. Ever since someone discovered you could sell a painting or a song, there's been business mixed in with the art. And I don't know if that's inherently mustache-twirlingly evil, but it did lead to some gatekeeping within the industry.
So you want to be a painter? Hopefully a noble patron gazes upon your work and finds it fetching.
Oh, you want to be a singer? You better hope one of the labels likes that pretty voice of yours.
You want to be an actress? Come take a seat on my couch.
The internet at least partially removed these obstacles. Soulja Boy showed us that you could be a musician and bring the songs right to where the people were without having to go through a label. And DeviantArt helped bring visual art of all kinds right to the weirdos who would pay for it. Oh shit, no! And YouTube allowed anyone with access to a camera to make a short film, or be a talk show host, or run their own reality TV show. And while Soulja Boy eventually went on to mainstream and radio success, most of these other artists have not achieved the same feat. You won't hear someone who draws really incredible furry dongs listed alongside Rembrandt. You won't see a creepy wax statue of the Cyanide and Happiness creators next to the one of Stan Lee. You probably won't hear someone list a YouTuber among their favorite filmmakers, because the internet is just different somehow. And as far as I can tell / remember, I think the term content creator popped up after the term YouTuber. And in fact, it might have been some of the early YouTubers who chose to adopt it. After all, many of them are much more than just some dirty, stinky, low-life YouTubers. I won't lie to you, it's a fitting catch-all. I stream, make music, write film, and edit videos, which could all be classified as content if you want to hurt my feelings, that I did in fact create. Perhaps it makes sense that people didn't want to boil down their talents and skills to just a single facet of what they do. I create so many different types of content creator. It makes sense. Okay, except that's not what's generally meant, is it? In terms of internet personality titles, content creator is only one step above the dreaded influencer, which is really just the term we use for a content creator who doesn't create anything. They're advertisers more than anything else, a marketing tool. The context of the internet, for some reason, forces us to not see the trees for the forest. Oh god, this is hard. What the hell? For instance, if I am, say, a skilled graphic designer, and I have a successful YouTube channel, and I do a tour across the country that combines music, comedy, and theater. And all of that ultimately goes back to my days playing League of Legends on Twitch. Then I'm a content creator. But what would you call me if I was a talented oil painter who had toured playing with a band? Maybe my most recent foray into film direction got a 6-hour standing ovation at fucking Sundance. And I've published a book of sultry poetry to boot. What would you call me then? I actually don't know what you would call me. Perhaps you'd call me a Renaissance man, a reference to Leonardo da Vinci and his many contributions to science, philosophy, and art. Maybe you'd call me an auteur, although that would be kind of a gross overextension of the term. Maybe you would just call me an artist, but you'd put like the French flair on it. What a fine artiste, But like, wouldn't you call that content? content being created by a creator without creating in the context of the internet, it feels like an incorrect term. Is my hair okay? I feel like I look like shit. If I look like shit, don't tell me. Tell me I'm handsome. And like and subscribe. Like and subscribe and tell me I'm handsome. Fuck you. Put simply, not everything is content. In fact, I would say content is something of a pejorative term, a slur for the most oppressed forms of media and those that create it. We don't use the term content creator in an attempt to capture the vast amounts of work done by some of our favorite creators. We use it to relegate their shitty work to the sewer of the internet. Why do we do this? Sorry. Why do we do this? Well, maybe it's in part because the internet doesn't have the same system of gatekeeping that traditional bona fide silver screen media does. That's cool. On one hand, it means that artists and creators who would have never found an audience before have the opportunity to. But on the other hand, there's a lot of garbage that we have to wade through. People putting out their first few attempts at something out to the world for judgment. A lot of people we wouldn't call artists making something we wouldn't call art. And I think maybe that has something of a real estate effect that extends to other creations on the internet. See, in the USA, homeowners associations are a pretty common evil in neighborhoods. A big reason these homeowners associations, or HOAs, are terrible is because they are terribly concerned with property value, maintaining the investment of the people in the neighborhood. Because a single home with the siding falling off, broken windows, a grass forest, and milk jugs full of piss on the porch will in fact harm the value of the homes around it. It would make them worth less money. So HOAs gatekeep the neighborhood. Sometimes literally. They set limits on grass maintenance, house colors, driveway usage, how many pee jugs you can have on your porch, all in the hope of maintaining some idea of value. It works, but that goal of permanently increasing home value has historically kept more and more people from being able to buy their own space. Sounds maybe a little familiar?
You wanna buy a house?
It seems to me that the impact of the internet on art is kind of similar to if HOAs stopped caring about property value. More people can afford houses, owning a home stops being a status symbol, homeowners become roof havers. What they're doing is the same, but worth less money, and therefore inferior to the old way of buying a house. Don't call me a roof haver, I earned this home. And maybe worth less money. It may be not as pretty as yours. It's still a home that I own. Maybe I'm oversensitive to this. Unk is over here screaming at clouds or whatever. Ritual, we love content creators. We give them lots of money. Ritual, I'm not racist, I have black friends. That's kind of a false equivalence. We do give content creators a lot of money. Maybe more than they deserve. But then again, I think a lot of people make a lot more money than they deserve based on the value that they provide to society. And then other people are teachers. What I'm very clearly saying is that I think we use the term content creator to position internet creatives as somehow less than traditional artists and entertainers. It accurately describes what is done while undermining it. A quick question. When was the last time you wrote an essay taking a side on something? Did you learn that you're supposed to have a section addressing the counter-arguments to your claim? Well, you should. I think it's important to address the issues with your position. A lot of YouTube video essayists are not very good at this, but that's this section of the video. A commenter on Hacker News named Same Old Tune had a comment that I think is kind of interesting here. They said, content is an advertising term for whatever fills the space between all the ads. Shouts out to my friend Mando for helping me find that. According to this definition, lots of internet creatives make content. Not art, not film, not music. Content. Are you telling me you actually found meaning worth extracting in the latest JoJo Siwa drama update? No, actually, shut the f*** up, you bitch. Content is art's commercialized, step-headed red brother. Where art is meant to convey meaning, content is meant to fill time. Can a YouTube video be considered art? Can a Twitch stream? Can a fucking fan song about Five Nights at Freddy's? We're wading into some age-old debates that I somehow managed to touch on in every video. And honestly, I'm kind of two minds about the matter. There are those who would argue that any human creation can be considered art. And in theory, I really like this idea. I think most human creations can convey meaning to the larger community of humanity as a whole. But in practice, I think many of them don't, and aren't trying to. Unlike some, I do believe that artistic intent is important. It's possible that someone will create art without meaning to, but not necessarily probable. With that, I would argue that YouTube videos, Twitch streams, and shitty fan songs can be art. There's probably a bunch of them out there. But I would say the majority probably are not. And thus, content creator is probably a fitting term for many of the people creating on the internet. But if that's true, then we need to extend the term beyond internet media. People who make game shows, reality TV, sports commentators, they're all content creators. It feels wrong, but it does make a degree of sense. And you know what? Despite the fact that this is the here's why I'm wrong section of the video that I'm now supposed to debunk with my damning facts and logic, I could actually get behind this change. If we're specifying between those who create art and those who don't in all creative spaces, I'm for it. But there does have to be some sort of differentiation. I think that's a lot more work and discussion that I'm willing to do. I, for one, love debating the artistic merit of different forms of media. Most people really do not care. And because they don't care, I'm just going to advocate that we're more selective with how we use the term. Recognize those whose work and effort is a cut above the standard YouTube slop, with some sort of name. Hi, Editing Booth Ritual here. As I was going through the rough draft of the video, there was a piece that I kept out of the script because I couldn't find a place that I thought it fit comfortably, and I thought, I'm probably okay without it. But as I've been going through that rough draft, I really wanted to add it back in, and this is the best place I thought to do that. I want to add two more kind of maybe cases against myself here. I'm making a lot of arguments against myself. I'm spending a lot of time on it. I probably shouldn't do that, but here we are. The first is educational content. Educational content is well known as content. I've heard people say edutainment before, but that's kind of a dumb term. I get using the term educational content here. I don't think it's necessarily disparaging in that context. I think educational is generally a strong enough word to carry any negative associations that might be from the word content. And educational content creators, you know, your Hank Greens, your Veritasiums, your Nile Red, and maybe even like some tech guys like a Linus, maybe even some political commentators could fall under that. I think there's benefit to that. Educational content is without a doubt adding something positive into the world. You never have to feel bad about watching educational content. You should never feel bad about being an educational content creator. Boom. Honestly, that's my take on that. I think that's just a good. I think it's a good. The second one is the things that you can assume I mean when I say content, right? People playing video games, drama videos, you know, game show, reality TV type content. That's not valueless. I don't think it's as valuable as stuff that's a little higher effort, that gives a little bit more and maybe seeks to have some sort of artistic message or educational content for that matter. It isn't worthless. There's value in entertainment. There's a reason that the entertainment industry makes so much money. We want to be entertained. We understandably and respectably seek an escape from the world. We want to unwind. Humanity has made up games and done drawings on cave walls for as long as we've been around. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not all the puritanical idea of work and entertainment and fun inherently being like sinful. These things provide good to the world. Not as much as other things, I'll restate, but they do provide something. Regarding video game content specifically, I watch a ton of it. I play a bunch of fighting games, so I watch a bunch of that stuff. And my most watched creator for the past 2 years, I think, has been Virtual, who plays Trackmania. I love that stuff. We enjoy it for maybe some of like same reason that we like sports or like speedrunning, right? It's that same thing. It's very entertaining to watch someone who's very good at something be very good at something. It is also very entertaining to watch Ludwig play League of Legends. Content, for as much as I will shit on the term and perhaps the concept, it's not valueless. Entertainment is good. I love video games. I like skateboarding. I like movies. I like entertainment. Now, I like when the entertainment has something more to say, but that's not to say that, you know, a popcorn movie or Tetris or watching Ludwig play League of Legends is valueless. Cool. Okay, I think that's everything I need to say. Back to the scripted part of the video. Wahoo. Very simply, I'm wrong to hate the term so much. It may carry a negative connotation, but in the daily lives of most of humanity, it means nothing. None of this really impacts anyone significantly. If you think I'm somewhat justified in my hatred of the term content creator, I think it's important to take a little time to recognize the skills and specialties of your favorite artists in online spaces. I think they would appreciate if your next comment said, "You're a wonderful musician," rather than, "Thanks for the video of the song, Content Pig." I can't say anything seriously, but actually express your appreciation for the good creators out there. I know from experience that bad comments can seem much louder than the good ones, but the good ones are still heard. And to take it a step further, I really want to find an alternative term for the internet renaissance people who are making art in so many different ways and showcasing so many different skills in different mediums. I like the idea of the term digital artist a lot, but it's already pretty much been claimed by people who make visual art using a computer. Side note, why the fuck did visual artists gain carte blanche of the word artist? It's changed a little bit, I recognize, with more and more artists, or with more and more musicians being recognized as artists as well. But like, if I tell someone that I like art, they assume I mean paintings or sculpture. Honestly, despite my long-winded opinions about this, I actually haven't come up with any alternative terms. That's part of the reason I made the video. I figure a few more minds working on it will get us to an answer faster. If you have ideas, I would love to hear them. I actually have nothing. Nothing at all. In the couple months I've spent working on this video, nothing. Perhaps I'll have an idea before I'm done filming and editing this and it goes out. If I do, it will go here. If I didn't just cut away, still nothing. So, is this video realistically going to change anything about the way we view content creators, in quotes? No. Content creator is a near ubiquitous term in the English-speaking parts of the world now. And to get granular and give perspective, this video is in English. Yeah, but it will be on the internet, which only a small portion of that larger population will see. Of that part, an even smaller part is on YouTube. And of the part that's on YouTube, only a teeny tiny portion of that will actually be shown this video. And of that, an even super mega tiny weeny itty bitty mega ultra small part of that will actually click on the video. And if that's you, thank you. Please consider subscribing. Theoretically, all changes start with one person. And also, as I alluded to early in the video, I think a good deal of internet creatives are happy with the term. They don't mind being called content creators. Yeah, they don't share my same delusions of import and significance. And despite my distaste for it, I don't think I can hold it against them. The title for the video is I Hate Content Creators, and as much as I would love for that to be true, it simply isn't. Clickbaited, fucker. I love the works of many people who would call themselves content creators, and I hold them in parasocial regard. It feels wrong to say I love them, I do love what they make, but I think held in parasocial regard is a good way for me to think of it. It would probably take someone with far greater reach and influence than I have to make any sort of change on this front. It would probably take them a lot of time as well. You thought we were almost done. Did you look at the fucking bar? Do you see how much more of the video we have to go? Yourself. I'm sorry. I know you saw the title card. Give me a sec. I promise.
promise. Just bear with me. Kanye West has become a problem. He has been a controversial figure for as long as he's been in the public eye. He has more quotable scandals than probably anyone in the world, and he's expressed a great deal of views lately that are morally apprehensible and simply wrong. So don't get me wrong, as much as I may have loved Kanye's music in the past, and to a degree still do today, I'm not saying he's a good person or to support him. I would love to live in a world where I don't have to make a statement such as this to talk about Kanye, but here we are. Hate him as we will, Kanye West has a history of changing the creative landscape for artists before going off the deep end. He was a talented hip-hop producer who no one wanted to hear rap. And through determination and a great deal of what we in the industry call headassery, Kanye made a lot of classic albums and became probably the biggest hip-hop artist for a decade. Then he decided he wanted to do more than just music, and people laughed at that too. He struck out into fashion as nothing more than a rapper making merch, and through that same determination and headassery, he led his huge Yeezy brands to massive success before driving it back into the toilet. Perhaps his attitudes were indicative of things to come. But let's recognize game where we see it. Kanye is kinda mentally unstable, but mixed in with the legitimate reasons to question and criticize him are people calling him crazy for some understandable takes. He was looking to break the glass ceiling for black artists. He recognized that despite his incredible success, he was not at the top of the capitalist food chain, and making it there was incredibly difficult. The infamous Sway interview has a lot of nuggets of truth and is indicative of Kanye's drive that allowed him to crack that glass ceiling a little bit, even if his unsteady foundation did send him back down to the ground floor. I think that initial determination and headassery is maybe what internet creative spaces need. Maybe we need someone willing to make a fool of themselves kicking against the pricks until something breaks. We have some artists and creatives who have started on the internet and gone on to bigger and better things in traditional media spaces. Quadeca started as a silly music YouTuber and went on to at least some degree of alternative rap popularity. The Filippo brothers of Raka Raka have gone on to direct a major motion picture horror darling. All of that is laudable. And based on how I hear internet creatives speak, it seems like traditional media spaces might be the more sustainable way to live as a creative. But like, does it need to be? What if we could just recognize the work and efforts of these creatives on the internet as being just as significant of more traditional art? I reckon that getting to that point will take two things. One, a more keynote segment of the internet growing to much larger popularity, potentially a subject for another time. And two, an asshole. Someone willing to say my internet creations, my YouTube videos, my Twitch streams, my shitty fan songs are art. And you know what? We're gonna make fun of that person. Maybe a few of those people until someone gets the formula right. The content is good enough to be considered art. The creator is enough of a head ass to be called an artist. Anyway, don't call me a content creator. My shitty video essays are art, I guess.